Hello. Hi, everybody. How are you this Friday lunchtime? Let me just move my camera up a tiny bit so my big head can get in the whole frame. Hello, everyone. How are you? My name is Carl. It's very nice to be able to broadcast to you this Friday lunchtime. What's this topic about? Well, if you've logged into this page, if you've liked this page, you either already are a TEFL teacher, or you're doing your TEFL course, or you're thinking of doing a TEFL course. And this Friday lunchtime, I'm here to answer any questions that you might have about TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language. So any questions at all that you have for me about anything to do with the industry, and why not anything else in the world, but let's probably stick to TEFL, it's best, then I'm here to help you. How am I allowed to do this? Well, thankfully, TEFL believe in me, basically TEFL.org. And they, the reason being because I've been teaching TEFL for probably about almost 20 years now in various parts and places around the world. I've lived and worked in Japan, China, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Iraq, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, South Africa. Plus I've worked a lot in Spain and Italy and in the UK and here in Northern Ireland where I live now. I have managed a few schools. I have been senior teachers as well as normal teacher, as a normal TEFL teacher. And I also have taught online and worked as an examiner in TEFL. So hopefully that allows me to be able to answer any questions that you have, that you might have. So I can see some hellos coming in. Hello, Joe. Hello, Ana Grazia. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to pronounce your name wrong. Olahida. Hi, Douglas. If you just say hello in the chat and let me know wherever you are in the world, that would be great. Just because I like to be able to know where everybody is. And, you know, I just think it just allows everyone to see that there's so many people around the world that are interested in this. Hello, Latika. Hello, Eve. Can see a couple of questions already coming in now. So basically, I'm going to put this talk around the field, around the topic of interviews and how to deal with the interviews and how to interview questions, that kind of thing, because I have done some interviews. I've done quite a fair few actually interviews of teachers for schools that I've managed. So hopefully I can give you my insight in that. But before we start doing that, I'm going to start answering some of these questions that are already coming in. Okay. Let's start with Olahida. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. So, right. The first thing is, how do I register in my country, Nigeria? Right. Now, Olahida, I have never taught in Nigeria. I've never actually even traveled to Nigeria. I spent a bit of time in Africa, but no time in Nigeria. I apologize. Right. So the thing that I would say to you is, if you're thinking about how to register as a teacher in a country, and I'm going to sort of broaden this out, is generally to be a TEFL teacher, there's no sort of register. So there's no sort of big database where they store everybody's details who is trained as a TEFL teacher within a country. So if I'm just going to broaden out your question a bit, Olahida, which would be basically, how do you become a TEFL teacher in a country? So the first thing to do is to find someone that is recruiting, basically. So that might be through advertising that you could see on websites like our TEFL.org website. Or you might find that there are other ones as well out there. And basically you find that, and then if you're in that country, you've already got the permit to work there probably. If it's another country, then that recruiter would help you with the process of getting the visa, getting, and all the details about how to apply and all that kind of thing. And then they say basically register you as a work visa. So there's no sort of register to register yourself as a TEFL teacher. Slightly different if you're going to be a qualified teacher in the UK or in various countries to work in a sort of as a, I don't know, to go teach mathematics or something like that. So it works a little bit differently, TEFL. I hope that's answered your question, but please, if it's not, then just type into the chat. Hi, Douglas. Hi, Eve. Okay, Eve, what work have you done in Italy, please? Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about the work that I've done in Italy. So I basically work as an examiner. So once you've been doing TEFL for a little while, you know, sort of a couple of years tends to be the sort of amount of experience they're looking for. Examination boards they won't come and find you, but you'll see adverts for TEFL teachers to go and work as an examiner. And what that generally means is that you will sit in a room and you will mark the writing, you'll grade the marking. You'll go, sorry, let me start again. You'll apply to them, the examination board, and have an interview, application form, all that kind of thing, like a normal job. And then they would train you up how to grade students in their speaking or their writing. And that's what I do in Italy. And it is something that is sort of part of the career path of TEFL that people don't often realize, is that it's not just teaching in a school. You know, you can move through the fields of becoming a teacher trainer, becoming a senior teacher to sort of manage other teachers, being the center manager, or to move on and up to being an examiner, all this kind of thing. So that's part of what I do, Eve. But you won't be able to do that examination work straight away. That's something that you'd have to get a bit of experience in before you do it. Okay. Hope that answered your question, Eve. Hello, Latika, in India. I think, are you the furthest away? Eve, hello. Just answered your question. Ronnie in Northern Ireland. If you're waiting to do the practical courses in Northern Ireland, you'll get me at some point, Ronnie. I hope to see you soon. I'm in Bangor. Catherine, hello. No problem. No need to thank me. It's nice to be with you all on a Friday lunchtime. You have a question. I'm not a native English speaker, but do have a degree in English literature and got my TEFL certificate as well. I'm planning to get a job in Vietnam or Japan as an English teacher. Is it hard for me to find a job because I'm not a native speaker? No, it's not hard for you to find a job. There are definitely jobs out there for non-native speakers, and quite rightly, there are companies out there that will look at the candidate instead of the first language that they have. So there are definitely jobs out there, and there are links on our website to finding work as a non-native English speaker. The fact that you've got a degree in English literature and your TEFL certificate will really help you. You will be able to apply for jobs in Vietnam or Japan. They are countries that tend to want to have people to have a degree. So that will definitely help you. You can really sort of show that you've got this degree in English literature, and recruiters should really like that and want to hopefully take you on. You will see, as a non-native speaker, you will see, unfortunately, job adverts out there that only want native speakers. As a British English native speaker, I see jobs out there that only want American speakers or Australian speakers. So it's not just something that goes against native speakers. It goes within the non-native speakers. It also goes at times against native speakers as well. So what I would say to you is just keep looking. Don't be downhearted. The reason why they have these adverts, so these recruitment drives for only native speakers, is because unfortunately there is this legacy from, you know, earlier in last century where it was seen that only native speakers could teach that language, and that has been proven to not be true. But unfortunately, that legacy has continued and people still go by that. So unfortunately, you are going to see adverts like that, but keep working at it, Catherine. You will get work out there. Okay. I hope that answered your question. Maria, hello from Rome. Hello. Douglas in Surrey. Glad you qualified. Olahida, I think I've answered your question, I hope. Hello, Ana Gracia. Eileen, is that a question? No. Frankie, hello. Right. Frankie TEFL, you've even changed your name to TEFL. That's how much you love TEFL, Frankie. Well done. Oh, sorry, Eileen, there was a question before that. I'll come to that in a second. Hi, Carl. I have many years experience in hospitality and as a PA, but no teaching experience except my TEFL. Any tips on skills that are transferable? Yes, hospitality is a great industry for transferable skills. Why? Because you are spending time with the public. So think about any time where you've had to start. So if you're applying for jobs, you're thinking, oh, I haven't got any TEFL experience. Can you think of any time that you've had to stand in front of a crowd and speak? Have you ever had to do any sort of training of people? Have you ever had to show someone just how to do something very, very simply? That kind of thing. That if you've had any experience of that, then that is transferable into TEFL, and see if you can get it into the application or the interview by saying, okay, I don't have any TEFL experience, but this was a time when I had to teach someone how to do this. This is what I did, and this was the outcome, that kind of thing. As a PA, you would have got lots of admin experience. That is something that happens a lot in TEFL. There's loads of admin, unfortunately, at times. And that is something that you can show that you can keep on top of and all that kind of thing. I hope that answers your question, Frankie. TEFL. I've never gone down the route of changing my surname to TEFL. Perhaps that'll get me more work. I don't know. Good. Oh, sorry, I need to go back up a little bit. Eileen, hello. Your name's Eileen. You're currently in Bolton, UK. So any tips as a new candidate to get work when qualified would be useful? Okay, so a little bit like I just spoke to with Frankie. Think about whatever your experience is in your work or in your school, if you're a little bit younger and you've not started work yet, or if you've done your degree. Think about times you've had to give presentations. Can you somehow get that into the get that into your application? Because speaking presentations is something that happens quite a lot and helps people. It's part of basically being a teacher. Then also think about any times you sort of sold anything. That can also be part of, interacting with people. Any times where you've had to deal with people whose first language is not English, that kind of thing. That is all something that they'd want some help with. Also, I've completely lost my train of thought there about something that's new. It'll come back to me in a second. But Eileen, just go with that, and anything where you're basically customer facing inside your application would work. I do hope to go down that one. Ronnie, hello. I love all the questions today, guys. Please keep them coming in. You're keeping me on my feet. It's Friday lunchtime. I was a little bit tiring, but you're really getting me going. Hello, Ronnie. Do I have to wait to complete my TEFL course before I can apply to teach abroad? Right, I would. That's it. That's an interesting one. They often want you to have that certificate, and what you don't want to do is to annoy recruiters by applying before you've got that certificate, because they'll look for it and then go, well, actually, she hasn't got her certificate yet. So I would, by all means, start looking. Okay, and think about, I'll go there, I'll go there, I'll go there. But generally, the recruiters and the companies want you to apply with your certificate in hand. That is generally for countries where you've got to go quite far abroad, sort of out way, Asia way and stuff like that. If you're going Spain, Italy, you might have a little bit more leeway with trying to get work without your certificate in hand. But I would get it done, then get applying. Ronnie, hello. There seems to be a lot of people that are newly qualified, as I'm looking through the chat, or there's sort of just hit me. One more thing that you might want to think about is trying to get some work experience within your local community. So Alan, who is amazing on the chat answering questions, I think he'll put a link in for something called Refugee Net or RefuNet, something like that. Lots of people in the UK who want to learn English around you. You'd be surprised sort of within the next couple of streets how many people there are sort of learning English, okay, especially if you're in a big town. So see if you can get involved with some sort of volunteering to help them, okay? Then that is something that you can very much easily put on top of your certificates. Hello. Beth, hello. I've already done a TESOL prep course and I'm booked to do the full TESOL in September. What is the difference with TEFL? Right. Okay, so our industry is full of TEFL, TEFL, TSL, TSOL. You'll see that sort of all over the place. Okay. Right. Teaching English as a foreign language, TEFL, is meant for people who want to, it covers people that want to go abroad and teach English to people who are not currently in an English speaking country. Does that make sense? So me, when I flew, my very first teaching job was in Vietnam. I flew to Vietnam. I taught Vietnamese people English whilst living in Vietnam. I was a TEFL teacher. We are called TEFL.org because the majority, not all, but the majority of people that do our course want to go abroad to teach, or they want to teach online to people who are abroad. That is what TEFL means. TESOL, teaching English as a second or other language, is for people who are in an English speaking country and want to learn English. So, for example, I live here in Northern Ireland. I have a job where I help teach Syrian refugees that live in Northern Ireland. I am a TESOL. I'm a TESOL teacher when I'm in Northern Ireland teaching people English who live in Northern Ireland. When I lived in those countries around the world that I spoke about before, I was a TEFL teacher. Now, the theory on this, I could spend an hour talking about it, okay? The difference being that generally their needs are different. If you are teaching English as a foreign language, if you're in Vietnam, for example, I was teaching university students that needed to learn English in order to do a degree at an English speaking university. That was my job in Vietnam. My job when I worked in Japan was helping, I had a range of jobs, but it was basically, let's give one example, teaching kids how to speak English to help them pass their high school exams, that kind of thing. Okay. TESOL that I teach in Northern Ireland is very different. I would be teaching the refugees how to, I don't know, fill in a form to get benefits, how to apply for jobs in the UK, how to telephone and make a doctor's appointment for their kids, all that kind of thing. So it is slightly different what you teach, but the theory behind it is similar. Hope that answered your question, Beth. I did feel like I rattled on for too long then. I'm sorry. I can still see the questions coming in. I'm going to keep the questions coming. Okay, everyone? So just bear with. If you've asked a question, keep going. Hi, Joe. If I were to get a job with one of the agencies, am I self-employed? Same with schools, or is it a mix of self-employed or PAYE? Right. Okay, Joe. So I'm guessing you're talking about, I think, were you in Bolton or somewhere, Joe? I can't remember. Oh, you've actually put in a little bit agencies online, right? Okay. Interesting one, that. It depends whether you're taxed. Listen, you've got to check tax. Don't take some bloke who lives in his office I don't live in my office, I live in my house, but who has an office in his house, about tax rules. Okay. I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't think HMRC will be happy if he said, well, Carl said this. I think it depends on whether you are taxed in that country and then also taxed here. So, for example, if you've got a Chinese company giving you work and they tax you in China before the money's sent over to you, I think you don't have to pay tax, but you need to check that up. I personally don't work for any agencies. I recruit my own students. When I recruit my own students, it then goes through my own tax return because I'm not paying any tax in another country. And then I pay PAYE as a self-employed person. Okay. So it does depend. I think you need to look it up. Okay. Don't take my word for it, Joe, but I think that's how it works. Okay. Eve, no problem. Ronnie, great. You look forward to it. Lovely. Anna Garcia, you have a degree in specialist translation. That sounds like a great degree to have for TEFL. Douglas, hello. There appear to be lots of companies which recruit. Their application process is rather full on. Should we be cautious of uploading ID to these recruiters or stop being babies and take the risk? Great question, Douglas. And I like how you've called yourselves babies. I would never do that. What I would say is, in the 20 years that I have been teaching English, my passport photo has been sent out of my email probably about 50 or 60 times. Okay. I have no problem at all with sending my ID to companies that sometimes I don't, not even sure I want to work for them. Okay. I just wanted, you know, perhaps I had a bit of time when I needed a bit of a job, or I just wanted to see what would happen with the application. So I personally do not have a problem at all of uploading my ID and sending it out. A copy of your passport, I'm not really sure what they could do with that. I mean, I'm sure I'm not a scam artist. I'm sure there are scams out there where people take your passport, but recruiters want to see your passport. They want to see that you're a real person who it will help them they might need to get a visa for you. Then you've got to get a passport. They might need to start paying taxes on you. Then they'll need to have your details for that. Okay. So I have always taken the risk. I have never had any problems with sending out my ID. Be careful. I have had people that say, oh, we also need your bank account details. I don't send that. Okay. You know, I've got a scanned copy of my passport and I put it in there. One thing you might want to do is to sort of erase some of the numbers, that kind of thing, if you're really wary of it. But I don't have a problem with sending it out. And it's a big part of recruiting in TEFL. Okay. If you've got any more questions about the recruitment process being full on, please let me know. Anna Garcia, hello. You have a degree in translation. Thank you. I'm a translator and teacher in Italy. I got your level 5 certificate. Fantastic. Very good. And you'd like to become an online TEFL teacher. What's the next step? You got choice, Anna Garcia. You can apply to recruiters, and there are recruiters that advertise on our TEFL website. There are also recruiters that will advertise on websites such as ESL. English is a second language, because the Americans sometimes call TEFL ESL, or that's me going back into the acronyms, not important. So eslcafe.com, you might see jobs on there. You might see jobs advertised on things like the Guardian website if you're in the UK, something like that. So you find yourself a recruiter, you apply to them, you go through the application process of working for them. They find you the students, they tell you when to work, they tell you how much money you're going to earn. You're basically like a job working for a company. The other route is to try and find students yourself, and you go down that route. You go down the route of creating yourself a website, maybe creating yourself a Facebook page, all that kind of thing. And you try and find students that way. That way you can set your own rate of pay. That way you can set your own hours that you work. You can be a little bit more selective with the type of English that you're teaching, and also the students that you're going to get. Okay, ages, that kind of thing. The first route of the recruiter will get you up and running more quickly. The second route is probably better long term, but you might find that it's quite hard going at the start, because you have to go down the routes of advertising, that kind of thing. You need a bit of money behind you to do that. Okay. If you have a degree in translation and you teach in Italy, you might want to go down the route of trying to teach low-level Italians English, because you can speak to them in their first language and also speak to them in English quite well. That's something that you might want to go down. If you're going to set yourselves up as an online teacher in your own business, you've got to try and find a niche, something that will get students to come to you. Don't be Anna Garcia, the English teacher, to teach all types of English. Maybe think, okay, I'm Anna Garcia who will help you pass this certain exam. It just helps you with your advertising. Okay. Loads of videos back on our page about this kind of thing from a few weeks ago. Great. Thank you. No worries. Good. Thank you, Alan, for putting up the RefuNet link. Okay, Douglas, you teach them, but there's no students available. Okay. Alan, if you want to highlight that comment that Douglas just put there, I teach for RefuNet, but have no more students available at the moment. Okay. Right. If RefuNet is full, and you still want to try and get some sort of local teachers, the thing that I would look if it's something you really want to do, contact local mosques as a first step, because they're usually very involved in the refugees that are in the country. That's how I've got a little bit of work, because it's unpaid voluntary work with. Okay. Second thing is to contact local churches. You'd be surprised at the local religious institutions around you, how much contact they have with people who don't speak English. See if they can help you. Okay, good. Douglas, hope that helps. Good. Ronnie, will my age go against you? You are 52. No, Ronnie, you're a spring chicken. Right. To be a bit more serious, there are cutoff points with getting work visas with certain countries. I'm not sure whether it's 60 or 55 for China, the Middle East, China, East Asia, that kind of thing. I think you'll be okay at 52. I've worked with people who have got work visas in their 50s. So I wouldn't worry too much, but you would need to think about the country you're going to and whether they have restrictions on the work visas, Ronnie. In Europe, there's no restrictions on that kind of thing if you have an EU passport. But let's not get started on Brexit. But yeah, work visas sometimes have a cutoff. Okay, good. Great. Hello, Latika. You're about to complete your 120-hour course. Some big questions there. Can you guide me? What should I do next? Will I be able to get a job, or I have to opt for another course, Latika? Well, Latika, I think from that, I'm not really sure what your plans are. Right. If you have completed the 120-hour TEFL course that we do, then that is generally enough to get you a job. Okay, that is something that lots of recruiters say. Do you have the 120-hour certificate? Yes, I do. Okay, great. Apply. Look for that online. Okay, so what should you do next? If you've got the certificate in your hand, you start applying, basically. Okay, simple as that. We have to opt for another course. Now, we do, as TEFL offer extra courses. And there are different reasons why we do that. Okay. The first reason is we do sort of add-on modules, because if you're thinking of becoming an online teacher, if you've got these added modules, you've done a 20-hour course on how to be an online teacher, that is something that will definitely help you to find work. It will also help you if you want to strike out on your own. If you want to do a module in teaching, extra work in teaching business English, for example, doing an extra course in that, then yes, that will help you to teach business English, and that will help you to know more about that will help you to get jobs as a business English teacher, because you've got something extra you can put in your CV. But it will also help you to find students, because you can sell yourself as Latika, the business English teacher, for example. So do you have to do another course? No, you do not, Latika. Start advertising, start getting yourself out there, seeing what you can do. Okay. And if you then feel that you need to get extra courses to try and help you find a job, then maybe that's something to go for, but I don't think it's needed. What I would say is any good school expects teachers to keep improving themselves. Okay, so I had a course like the 120-hour course start me off, and then I did a CELTA, then I did a Delta, then I did a certificate in English management, then I did a certificate in teaching young learners. Throughout my years, my qualifications have kept growing. Like any job that's worth its weight, they expect you to keep learning. Okay, so that's something that I would go with. I hope that helps you, Latika. Just start applying, Latika. Go for it. No problem, Douglas, if you're saying thanks to me. Hello, Emma. Emma, we haven't seen you for a while, and it looks like you're going to tell me why. The moving costs and COVID mean Gran Canaria is a no-go. Yeah. Okay. Going to teach online as a sideline. Thought about tandem and prepping to start with. Yeah. Great ideas to start. First of all, I'm sorry that your big move to Gran Canaria has not worked out. I've not been able to get myself over to Spain or Italy since February for some of the work I've done. So I understand completely how disappointed you might be. Yes, Tandem and Preply are a nice way to start up with. I think there's also one called Italki. I always pronounce that wrong. People tell me that I pronounced it wrong. I'm sorry if I have. How do they work? They basically, you sort of set yourself up a little bit as a self-employed person, and you try and get the students yourself. And it is a great way of finding students to start off with as an online person. You can look on there and see what the other teachers are charging, I think, and stuff like that. So that will help you. You've got to be careful. You're not going to get a flood of students straight away, in my experience, from those. What you might want to do, Emma, is see if you can go work for a recruiter, and also see if you can set yourself up yourself. Okay, so you might get a good core 10 hours from a company to keep your rent being paid, and then you might try and do that as a sideline, the Tandem, and then you might also be developing your own website as well. People that work online, they tend to not, this is not a whole rule, because I know some people that do work for one recruiter fully, but I find that the people that tend to be happiest are the teachers that have lots of different sort of online jobs. Okay, because eventually you probably want to set yourself up as someone, as on your own, basically getting your own students. Okay, Emma, I hope it works out. And this COVID thing is just horrendous, isn't it? Hi, Lizzie. Thanks for asking how I am. I'm doing well. You're doing the level 5. Wow, 168-hour course. Lizzie, that is a very nice profile picture you got there at the moment, but still don't know what my niche will be afterwards. I want to follow my course with the classroom course, but then how do I decide on what niche is right for me? Any pointers? Okay, so a few weeks ago, I was speaking about how to find your niche as a TEFL teacher. Now, for those of you who don't know, niche is basically a small part of something. Okay, I don't know what the dictionary definition of niche, but that's how I see niche. So within TEFL, there are lots of different types of English. So there's general English, which is sort of generally talking about sort of grammar, vocabulary, and you do a little bit of listening, a little bit of speaking, a little bit of reading, a little bit of writing. There's lots of general English textbooks, but then there's also very specific types of English, such as teaching English for exams. So around this world of ours, there's lots and lots of people taking the IELTS exam, IELTS exam. There's also lots of people taking the Trinity exam. There's lots of people taking the TOEFL exam, all that kind of thing. So people might teach specific courses for that. There's also business English, where people would teach specific types of business English, and within that there's different things. There's business English for presentations, for telephone calls, business English for meetings, business English for email replies, that kind of thing, writing emails. There's also English for tourism. There's also academic English. Within academic English, there's academic reading, academic writing, academic listening, all this kind of thing. So there's lots of different types of English. Right. What I would say to you, Lizzie, if you can't find if you're not sure on your niche, the reason why it's good to have a niche, I should very quickly say, Lizzie, I'm getting to you in a second. The reason why it's good to have a niche is because it can help you with your advertising online. Trying to be a person that will teach all of the English means it's very difficult for you to advertise effectively and to get students. If you've got your niche, you're much more likely to hit the keywords, the search words, that kind of thing, to get the students in for you. Right, how do you decide what niche is right for you? First of all, I would think, do you want to teach adults or kids? Ages tend to be the first thing. Okay, so if you're happy to teach kids, within kids teaching, young learners English teaching, there's different niches, there's different levels. For example, you could be the Lizzie who teaches the high levels, who are doing about to their GCSEs, their A levels, all that kind of thing. You might be Lizzie that will help them with essay writing, that kind of thing. So think about ages. If you want to teach adults, think about what interests you. Do you just like to have a chat with them? Then you might be Lizzie, the speaking teacher who can help with pronunciation, for example. Do you want to be someone do you enjoy marking essays? You might be Lizzie that will help people with their exam writing, that kind of thing. Do you love business English? You might be Lizzie, the one that finds business English. So that you've got to think about what you think you might enjoy. I like teaching to exams. I like the pressure that you get sometimes from teaching students to exams. I also like the way you can really change someone's life if they pass that exam. So that's what I like to do, but some people don't like it. There's lots of marking involved, all that kind of thing. So hope that's helped you, Lizzie, if you're still there. The next thing that you need to think about is money. Okay, so there's parts of the world here where they're quite rich. There's parts of the world where they're not quite as rich. And I'm trying not to point anywhere, because within that country, of course, there's exceptions. There's also South America as well. Sorry, South America and North America. There are countries where people are willing to pay more than others. So and then you need to tend to do your research and find out what they want in that country. Okay, so for example, if you're going to go out after Chinese dollars, or Chinese yuan, dollars, pounds, exams are a big thing over there. You might want to go teach into the exams. There's also kids are a big thing over there, and people like to spend money on their kids. So that's something that you might want to go down. Teaching, if you're going to go down the route of teaching Arabic students that have got a bit more money, they tend to need more help with writing than they do with speaking. Okay, Lizzie, does that help you if you're still there? I hope so. Marion, hello. You are Emma, no problem. Sorry, I should have said that before I got to Marion. No problem, Emma. Marion, I'm French, but I've lived in the UK 2 years and speak English really fluently. Okay, I've just completed the 120-hour TEFL course, so I have a chance to attract employers around the world, even if I'm not a native. Yes, Marion, we spoke about this a while ago. Yes, for sure, you will be able to do that. You will, thinking about your sort of little biography that you've given me there, right? First of all, you could go as a TEFL teacher abroad, and you could teach English. There are plenty of jobs about where they want non-native speakers. You'll see them. You can apply for them. You can go for it. The other option you might want to think about, Marion, is going abroad and teaching French, because the theory behind teaching English is similar to the theory behind teaching French, effectively, or teaching Arabic, or teaching Japanese, or whatever it is that you might be doing. So don't close off. I've seen jobs out there where people are looking for a French teacher, and then sometimes you go abroad and you teach a little bit of English, you teach a little bit of French. So I would not close off the door of not teaching French and thinking you can only do TEFL. International schools might want, for example, a French teacher. So this is something that you might want to think about, Marion, but you can definitely find work out there as a English teacher. We've got some links about how to find work as a non-native speaker, and you'll see jobs that will have advertised for non-natives and natives. There is work out there. Keep going for it. Okay, good. My general thing for non-native speakers is, have thick skin. Don't take it personally when a recruiter says, "Oh, I only want native speakers," because that recruiter is probably just chasing the money. You might not want to go work for them. Okay, I would keep going. Okay, good. Hannah, hello. Am I going to get to the topic of interviews? I'm going to give you a quick 5 minutes just right at the end. Okay. Hannah, hello. Is it better to do more of an advanced TEFL course? I've already done my 120-hour course, but I'm wondering if I need more. I already have a job teaching English on Powerfish, but I'm applying for jobs across the world. Well, look, Hannah, does it hurt to have more qualifications? No, generally. And what recruiters tend to want is a 120-hour TEFL certificate. That's what they want to see. Okay. And if you feel like you want to learn more and you want to be a better teacher, of course it's something that you can do. All right. But do you need to have it? No. Is it a good thing to have? Yes. Does that answer the question, Hannah? If you're already teaching, if you're already out there teaching, I'm not sure that you necessarily need it at the moment, but in 6 months' time, if you're really enjoying teaching, then you might want to go for it, something like that. Okay, you don't need it. Is it a nice thing to have? Yes. If you've got 2 CVs in front of you, similar amount of experience, similar amount of qualifications, all that kind of thing, One's got the 168, one's got the 120. Who are you going to take on? That's what I would say to you. Okay. All right. But do you need it? No. Anna Garcia, hello. When I find an online student, is it better to firstly understand how much he wants to pay before making an offer, or makes an offer and then see what happens? Interesting. Right. Anna Garcia, it depends on you, how much you are willing to work for. One of the very first things that I tell people is my rate of pay. They contact me, bit of information. Generally, they want something free. I reply straight away with my rate of pay that I'm happy to earn. Okay. I don't then get into a discussion with that person for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and then tell them my rate of pay and they go, well, that's too expensive. You know, it's one of the first things that I hit them with, because if you're going to set yourself up online, you are going to have to deal with time wasters. If you set yourself up online as your own business, you're going to have lots of people that are sort of asking you questions, and it's going to be a bit annoying. You'll get a lot of time wasters. Okay. So I straight away tell them the money. But if you're starting up and you are just sort of looking for students at the start, then yeah, you might want to go down the route of sort of letting them make the offer and see if that's something that you're happy with. Okay. In my experience, you know, the students, they'll ask blah, blah, blah. They'll ask for a bit of chat on Facebook when they contact me on my page. They'll ask for a bit of chat. How do I do this? How do I do this in English? I want to do this thing. I want to do this in English. But then they tend to get around to money relatively quickly. Okay. But I hit them with my price quite quickly, because time is money. And unfortunately, or fortunately, because I quite enjoy that side of things, when you set yourself up online as your own teacher, you are going to have to deal with the business side of things. And, you know, it can be tough at the start to get students at the money that you want to make. But don't teach at a rate that you're not happy to teach at, if that makes any sense. Anna Garcia, hello. Right, I think that's all the questions coming in. Thank you so much for the good advice. You really helped me out. Someone came late. Bridget, hello. Right, very, very quick 5 minutes talk about interviews. Right, some of the most common interview questions that you might be asked are, tell me about your experience. And that's something, if you've not got any experience, then we've spoken about this, rewind a bit, think about your own job experience and anything that you can get in like that. Okay, so that is something that you generally get asked. Okay, second thing, one of the questions is they ask, can you talk me through a lesson that you have planned or you have delivered? So just think about the stages of a lesson plan, think about the theory you've learned on your 120-hour course, stick to that, and then you talk them through that. Get in lots of ways of student-to-student interaction. That's what recruiters are looking for. They're not looking for high teacher talking time. They're not looking for something like this last 45 minutes. They're looking for students to talk to each other. Get that into your lesson plan. Get that across to the people. That will help you. Okay. Third thing that they're looking for is they'll probably ask you something on the lines of, you will be teaching certain nationality, Chinese students, for example. What do you think is the common problem for these students? Research. There's loads and loads of stuff on the internet about common English problems that Chinese speakers, Japanese speakers, Arabic speakers, Spanish speakers, French speakers have. Look at that and then think about how you might fix, if it's a pronunciation problem, how would you fix it? Think about the theory that you've got and learnt on the course, or if it's writing, grammar, how would you fix that? Error correction, blah, blah, blah. Think about the personalities. Spanish teenagers, Italian teachers, they yap, 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 yap. You might need to have better class control. Chinese students are going to sit there really quiet. How would you get one of them to speak? Blah, 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 that kind of thing. Little things like that. So that's the things. Then you'll get the questions like, what do you see yourself as your weakness? So think about around my big weakness as a teacher is I love to chat. So I talk too much often in class. So, you know, that's something that I come up with, and then I come up with some plan that I have to allow that to be less chat. And my other weakness is I'm not that great at the admin side of things. So that's something that I need to be aware of as a teacher. And then also they might sort of say, what, you know, why do you want to teach this nationality? Why do you want to teach this age range? look at the specific type of things. If it's an online job, how would you get around technical problems? How would you explain to the students the technical problems? All that kind of thing. I'm sorry, I kind of whizzed through what was the topic of this, but I think that's hopefully just, there's lots of websites out there about TEFL teaching questions. We also have a fantastic blog post on it, which is really useful and really helpful. Got some great ideas in it. If you've got any other questions, send it into the messenger. If it's something on the Facebook page, if it's something they can't answer, they might pass it on to me or one of the other trainers like me that work around the world, and we will try and help you with it. So just thank you everybody for joining me this Friday lunchtime. I really got to say, I loved all of those questions, guys. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed it, spending the time to answer your questions. We're going to do more of these. We do a few a month. So, you know, please stay in touch. There are also different themes. If you look back on the videos that we have on this Facebook page and on, I think, on Instagram, maybe, I don't know. Can you put videos on Instagram? I'm too old to do Instagram. I don't know. Have a look back and see if you can find that. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a lovely weekend wherever you are in the world. It's a bank holiday here in the UK. So I'm going to go out and have some fun. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.